Welcome, Shambra. We are here at the Shambra Pavilion, Kona, Hawaii, on the Big Island, and we are excited because this is the Art of Benching number 8.
Number 8, wow.
Number
And
8.
here it is, May 2022. You know, when I was about 10 years old, I couldn't even contemplate, which was 1965, couldn't even contemplate the year 2000. And here we are in 2022.
I know.
I mean, it's
know.
amazing. And I'm not getting older. The world is just,
Yeah, sure.
advancing in the number of
Yeah,
years.
sure.
Couldn't even imagine it. But here we are. Like Linda said, we're here from the Villa Amio at the Shambra Pavilion here in Kona, Hawaii. It's a little bit grayish out today,
It is. It's a little gloomy.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of rain, which is good because we need it.
And you
Everybody
prayed for
needs it. I prayed for it.
And you're going to stop praying for it.
I'm not going to pray anymore. Just stop that practice altogether. Anyway, we want to welcome each and every one of you from around the world to this wonderful gathering that we have today. Can't wait to dive into we have the slides, but then to dive into the channel with Adamus.
Oh,
I know.
good. That's good that you're ready.
It should be an interesting day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting is always I'm never quite sure what interesting means.
Interesting means interesting. It means, fasten your seatbelt. Anyway, next month we'll be back at the studio in Colorado, in Louisville, Colorado. So it seems like it's been a while since we've been there, but we'll be back there and with a live studio audience. First time in a long time that we've been able to have an audience. And I know Adamus loves that because then he can interact with the audience. He doesn't have to just pick on you.
I know.
He loves picking on you. Don't get me wrong.
I caught that.
But he loves the studio audience.
I caught that. Okay.
With Shambra.
And Belle won't be there.
Don't even bring that up. You're going to bring me to tears.
Okay.
I was literally just thinking about that. I was coming down the steps to come to the pavilion, and I just started to get choked up, so I'm not going to think about that for right now.
Okay.
Anyway, again, we want to welcome you. We're going to take a quick look at the shout from last month, from April, benching series number 7, just to kind of bring us all up to speed on what we're doing and what we talked about last month. So
helps.
Yeah, here's a recap from last month. How many years have we been doing this? How many beautiful, beautiful years. And here we are now at a point where we can shine our light. And we've gone through all the issues. We've gone through all the tears. And now it's time we can just truly do what we came here to do, shine our light. Ultimately, it all comes down to one very core thing. Awareness. Awareness is the greatest gift you'll ever have. And what's happening right now as we're communicating more, as you're learning to commune with your own energy, it opens up your awareness, sometimes on levels that are definitely understood by the human mind, other times on levels that require the openness or the allowing of the natural communications that you have, the ability to perceive, the ability to be aware, and the ability to sense all the communications. So many Shambras still, they don't really want to be here. And they might have physical pain, they might have mental issues, mental pain. So they kind of go out somewhere else. Well, when you're in that state, you're not here, you're not really totally aware. You're not here to receive all the gifts that are here in terms of joy and happiness and health and abundance. Ultimately, it all comes down to what I call the present moment or the now. They're not in the now, they're not present. And it's the only place anything ever happens, is the now. The present moment is where all the abundance is. It is not in the future. It is not in the future. The present moment is where your health is. If you want a miracle cure, get in the present moment, because this is where all the awareness, all the communication, all the receiving, and all the gifts are right here. Your past lives are in the present moment, although you may not realize it is some type of blinder that's on. Your Your future potentials are actually not in the future. They're here right now. All gifts from you to yourself, from your soul to you, are right here, right now. It's all right here, the present moment. Everything. There are no communications outside of the present moment. There's no healing outside of the present moment. No abundance outside of this. This is it. It's all right here. Including everything that you could possibly want or need in this lifetime. It's all right here. Let's take a deep breath with that. Now let's talk about the world. Enough talk about you. Let's talk about the world. Feel into it for a moment. The world right now is this huge point of separation, a huge point of separation for the planet, like never before. There's never been such an opportunity on the planet for the end of wars, on this planet. There's never been such an opportunity for the end of hunger on the planet. This planet is not a long way away from letting go of these old things. We're right at the tipping point. And it could go either way, but we're right at the tipping point. We're right at the edge of no more power games on this planet. No more power games. Is the planet ready to get over abuses of between people, sexual abuse? Are humans ready to get over just even the emotional abuse between each other? Are they ready for this? Because it's all coming into being right now. It's all at that point of separation. And the real question is, are they ready? Are they ready for what they'll eventually come to understand as freedom? Freedom doesn't mean you get to do anything you want. Freedom means you take responsibility for everything you do. Take responsibility for everything you do. That's true freedom. The planet's at such a tipping point, ready for a big change. But are enough ready? That's where you come in. That's why you're here on the planet right now. Let's talk a little bit more also about power, what it is. People who are addicted to power are ones who are victims or think they're victims. They are wounded by something in their past. Now, with that understanding, and when you shine your light, now you have a bit more understanding of what's going on. Nobody really wants to rule the world. I mean, some have tried, but nobody really wants to rule the world. They just don't want the world ruling them. So they go for power. As you shine your light, realizing this type of thing, again, you're not trying to change them. You're not trying to make them a nicer person. You're simply shining that light so perhaps they can see their own wounds, their own hurts. Now let's talk about benching for a moment. Benching. There's been a lot of controversy, discussion, and a lot of confusion about this whole thing with shining your light and benching. Let me try to clarify. First of all, as a human, you're going to have certain desires about the way you'd like to see things go. Even I have my desires, and I'm not even a human. Cauldre has his. I imagine Mo Shambar would like to see an end to wars. And that's an agenda. Yeah, granted. See an end to starvation. Okay, it's an agenda. See where this planet can work through one of the stickiest issues of all is mental imbalance, mental illness. We'd like to not suffer anymore. We'd not to see others suffer. However, when you bench, you're putting those aside. When you bench, it's no longer having a desired outcome or goal or preference or anything else. Have those, as your person, but when you sit down to bench, it is just about letting your light radiate. It's not wishing or hoping. It's not calling for planetary peace. It's not opening new vortexes in the cosmos to allow in anything else. It's simply shining your light. Light is a funny thing. Light doesn't really take any time to travel. It occurs in the now moment. You may say physical light or photons, they take a while to travel, but the light of consciousness is instant. It is instant. You're not going to have to wait a long time to see how all this plays out on your planet. Let it shine. That's it. So with that, Shaumbra, it's been another outstanding shout. My thanks to each and every one of you for being here on the planet, for staying. And right now, just a short message from FM. Always understand, feel into the communications from your soul. It's the greatest truth. It's the greatest freedom you'll ever have.
Always great to see the recap.
It is, because I always forget what we did. You think I remember. But, on top of that, we've been doing a lot of events here. There's been a lot going on. And on top of that, doing Keahak and the events and some filmings for new products.
Right.
And I do tend to, it blurs together. I tend to kind of forget. So it's always good as a reminder, what did we do in the shout?
Absolutely.
And speaking of recent events, we've had quite a few recently and a couple in April. Great events.
We did.
We had both the time traveling with Adamus.
Right.
And then, of course, the Masters in Communications.
We did.
Time traveling was... it was the first one. It was, it's so difficult to describe.
I can describe it.
Go ahead.
It wasn't what any of us expected.
Right.
It was amazing from the standpoint that, to me, it was one of the most individually personalized events we've done in a very, 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 very long time.
Right.
Everyone was guided to find something within themselves, and it was really touching. I mean, everybody was so touched by it, they could hardly talk.
But and I'll give a different perspective, is that I look at it how it affected me or the attendees. So I was really out of it for days afterwards. Not feeling bad at all. I felt great, but I was just very woozy and fuzzy in the head, and I couldn't concentrate on much of anything. So I did a lot of work in the yard. I really couldn't concentrate on work things, anything logical or linear. Because of the time traveling.
You went so far out there, Jeff.
Yeah, well, we all did.
Right,
and I
truly.
know a lot of attendees experienced that. And we did Masters in Communications, just finished that, less than a week or so ago.
Right.
And that was so different than the other
Absolutely.
Masters. I mean, it was kind of the same, but yet it went so much deeper and it was so clear. I really enjoyed that one. A good group of Shaumbra from around the world.
Yeah, they weren't very shy.
Yeah, and we have some photos to share with you. This is photos from both groups. I'm not sure which is which. I'd have to stop and take a look at that. But as always, a lot of interaction with Adamus during these live events. A lot of questions and answers and discussions and interactions, and sometimes just the look on Adamus's eyes, it's like okay. I mean, it's so telling. A lot of laughter, a lot of good humor, a lot of sharing, and
my goodness, that man looks taller than you, Jeff. I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yes, that's Jeremy, and he is taller than me.
I know.
And it was very weird. I'm used to looking down at everybody. I mean, not like that, but from a height standpoint. And Jeremy was a couple inches taller. Of course,
he was.
Great food that we had, thanks to Vanessa. It just,
Your team,
yeah, a lot of hugging and a lot of sharing. I think one of the best parts is at night when we get together, sit around and talk. That was Edward, who was playing the instrument.
Vanessa's husband.
Yeah. A lot of laughter, and I think Shaumbra just feels so good and so liberated when we're here together. And of course, Belle, she loves the sessions. She'll just come and lay on the carpet right at the front of the room and just take a nice long nap and then visit with everybody afterwards. But she's
people really love the energy here at the villa because it's so nurturing, and it's such a relaxing setting that people constantly tell us that they love the way they can just really dive into themselves when they're here.
A lot of nature, a lot of pirates.
A lot of pirates. Mm-hmm.
A lot of pirates also. But it's such a conducive energy. And I noticed that as we've done more and more here over the last couple of years, there is such a Shaumbra energy built into in the whole place.
Absolutely.
You come here and you can just feel it. So, I've had a lot of rain lately, but it wasn't enough to deter us or people from going out and sightseeing and visiting. And some people in great joy for getting a huge chocolate bar from Canada. Huge. I don't know how Natalie could possibly even eat that. Or did she? I'm not sure. But
none of your beeswax.
Anyway, just such great gatherings here.
Wonderful sunsets always here.
We have another one coming up next week. So these are the group shots from the two different events. Right. And again, I forget which is which. I think it doesn't matter. But anyway, always a delight to have the events here at the Shaumbra Pavilion here in Kona.
Absolutely. Truly wonderful.
So let's take a look at the upcoming events, what we have scheduled coming up right away. We've got Time Traveling with Adamus once again. That is starts next week. We have people from, I think, 10 or 12 different countries coming in for that.
We do. And 6 holdovers from the last event.
Oh, wow, 6. Wow, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
If you're inclined, there's still some spaces available. Hop on a plane and come over. We do have room for you.
And they have lightened up the restrictions on travel significantly.
They really have.
They've minimized them.
And then we've got Keahak 12. Registration closes on the 15th of June. It's our 12th year with Keahak. It's always transformational. It's a full year with Adamus, with all the channels and information. That's where he takes the deep dive into the material.
Absolutely. And everybody has their own experience. You create your own safe space, and Adamus feels into the energy of this group for a whole year.
Yeah.
And he feels where we're at, and then he adjusts his message accordingly. So I think that's why people are so attracted to it, because we've got a really strong audience for that.
Yeah, and it's 2 sessions per month, so it's just like instead of the shouds once a month, but with those 2 sessions, you really kind of stay on top of things. And Adamus does bring out the new material in Keahak, and eventually a lot of it gets to the shouds, not always as in depth. But and then there's always the Living in Keahak show with Dr. Doug Davies and Linda Benyo-Happy, which they kind of recap, because sometimes the information is so kind of big and out there. You guys bring it down into a very practical nature.
We kind of make a joke about it. When we listen to it, we just let ourselves go and listen to it. And then it's all done. It's like, how am I supposed to live with that?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of our goal, is to say, what is that like to do that and be in life?
Yeah. So here's a statement from Adamus about Keahak. Okay. Let's hear what he has to say about his program. I took over guidance of the Crimson Circle when Tobias departed in 2009. It had become an international organization with a rich library of consciousness materials from Tobias and others. The word Shaumbra had become commonplace, and Coal Creek Canyon, Colorado, was on the map. But before I even tried to fill Tobias's shoes, I felt into the energies of Shaumbra to help understand what I was getting into. I had known many of you in the mystery schools from the 12th to the 16th centuries, but it had been hundreds of years since I'd worked closely with any of you. What did I feel when I tuned into the Shaumbra energy? First and foremost, commitment. A deep commitment on many levels. Shaumbra had a commitment to their realization in this lifetime, a commitment to stay on the planet as embodied masters, and a commitment to leave their energetic legacy for the future of the planet. When I tuned into the Shambhala energy, I also felt kinship and community. Indeed, many of you have known each other in lifetimes past, but this went far beyond familiarity and even friendship. This was a soul-to-soul awareness, something rarely found even in religious or spiritual groups, especially a group so global as the Crimson Circle. And of course, when I tuned into Shambhala, I felt the distinctive energy of mavericks, nonconformists, and rebels. Damn be the rules, the rituals, and the righteousness of the spiritual groups you had been associated with in the past. Divine freedom was the holy grail for Shambhala. It was these very attributes that caused me to come to the Crimson Circle upon Tobias's departure. And it was these very attributes that caused me to create the Keahak program in 2011, after working with Shambhala for less than 2 years. I saw a core group within Shambhala that was calling out for more depth, more focus, and a faster pace. I saw a group within the group that wanted to ride the waves. Keahak is all about commitment, community, and nonconformity. When you enter the house of Keahak for the first time at the beginning of each new series, you're making a commitment to yourself for an entire year. This isn't the place for casual observers or hobbyists. You're coming for an intense year of personal transformation and a deep dive into the heart of your consciousness. And I'm committing to be with you every step of the way for that entire year. We gather in the sacred house of Keahak twice a month for what I consider to be the new mystery schools. You've gone from awakening to mastery, and it's time to be in your ultimate passion, being on Earth at this epic time of change as a master. In Keahak, we'll experience and explore physics that go far beyond current science, as well as how to maintain your safe space and balance in the 3D world of time-space, and working with communications of energies and letting energy serve you. When I'm asked about my workings with the Crimson Circle at the Ascended Masters Club, I always lead with what we're doing in Keahak. It's the core of consciousness for Shambhala, and it's my pride and joy. Keahak, it's what's next.
I guess no one says it better than Adamus. I think that was very clear. I love
Pretty clear, yeah.
I love the new mystery school. I hadn't thought of it like that, and it is.
Yeah, it is. Online mystery school.
Yeah,
Who would have
yeah.
thought, yeah. I mean, looking back from 500 years ago, who would have thought we're going to meet online? For Keahak, there is a payment plan available, 5 payments between when you sign up or between when we started and I believe in August. So if it makes it a little bit easier for you, there are payment plans. And again, it goes through July this year through June 2023. Wow. And the very cool thing is it's available with 10 different translations. I mean, it's really grown over the years, and it's phenomenal to see the effort that goes behind every session and then getting the information out and getting the translations.
Oh, those translators
very,
are so
very
incredible
impressive.
too.
Yeah.
So it's quite an honor to be a part of Keahak.
So Keahak registration closes June 15th. So if you're interested, make sure to check it out on the Crimson Circle store.
Also upcoming and very important is SES online, and we're very excited about that.
What is SES?
Sexual Energy School.
We're so used to saying SES, I forget once in a while.
I never forget that.
You never forget.
I never forget that. And when they say Sexual Energy School, ultimately, bottom line is it is an incredible method for really helping you to learn how to manage to improve how you manage your energy and your energy in relationships with others.
Yeah, and I'll just put it so clearly and simply. If you're Shambhala, if you're part of this journey, if you're going into mastery, SES is so essential. I mean, it's not like you have to take it, but it is so essential. It's so basic. And we've had tens of thousands of people that have taken SES, and the feedback is always incredible. What really helps you understand is energy and your relationship with it and other people. So that's coming up. We do it twice a year online. It's coming up in June.
And it is so important that I want you to realize that it's the only requirement we've ever put in place, and that is because of the attendees. Over time, became very clear at live events who had taken SES and who hadn't. I never would have imagined that, but that's what happened. So as a result of that, request of attendees, you have to take SES if you want to come to a live event.
Yeah, it just makes sure all the energy is kind of aligned and no energy feeding. Let's take a listen to an actual testimonial from somebody who took SES with this video.
I waited more than 4 years before I felt the urge to take Crimson Circle's Sexual Energy School. I'd heard countless comments about it, and I believed that I already knew what it was about. Now I know. The experience of this class was a big bang for me, unfolding in slow motion. It's not only a workshop, it's really a step-by-step initiation, meaning a transformation in which the initiate is reborn into a new role. I had already buried the hope that I would ever understand what is wrong with my sex life, but SES gives a key: how to touch without neediness. It helped me realize that touching as a means to fulfill a need is a symptom of the sexual energy virus. In SES, I learned about touch without agenda, where the only motivation is being inspired by the beauty of who I really am and my wonderful physical body creation. I learned what self-love means in a practical way. SES brings self-love to a physical level because we are humans after all. Through this class, life must change if I follow Tobias's suggestion of regular time with myself. The energy flow in the body changes, and abused or ignored parts of the body come alive again. I'd like to lift the secret of this class a bit for others who are hesitating. It provides very practical and sensible coaching into a new life of self-love. It is so beautiful, this new art of caring for myself. Why did I wait so long?
Well, we really hope that you could feel. I thought that person's testimony was so incredibly accurate.
Absolutely. And it was an actual testimonial, so there's things that, we can talk all day long about, but it's really about somebody that's actually been there, took it, and saying the words. And by the way, when we do the Sexual Energy School or any of our cloud classes are live hosted, Linda and I, the production team, are there with you for the weekend. So we're talking in between the videos, we're discussing points, we're telling stories of what it was like, to do the original shootings and things. So we're with you all the time. And just one other note that we survey all of the events just to make sure that everything is going right.
Clarity.
And SES gets like a 98% excellent or very good rating, life-changing rating. So we've been doing it for years. Tens of thousands of people from around the world have taken it, and it's proven to be truly the core Crimson Circle class. And then coming up after that,
Whoa, wait, Threshold.
We've got Threshold coming up as a hosted cloud class.
Correct.
Coming up this summer. And I believe the dates are, I can't remember exactly what they are. They've got to be on one of these slides here, but we have Threshold coming up.
We do. And that's a very incredible school because it really does help people face things they hadn't imagined.
Right. Let's take a look at this trailer, and then we'll figure
good.
out when it's coming up.
Sure.
I think it's in July. I am that I am. Adamus of Saint Germain. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Threshold. I can't tell you how much I've been anticipating this, waiting for the time, if it even was going to come, where we would be gathering like this to do the Threshold. It's the last thing that anyone will do before their realization. Everyone goes through it. They may call it by different names. Certainly all the experiences vary. All the stories are different, but it's the last thing one goes through before their realization. And here we are. Here we are. You'll learn in these next few sessions what the real name of this is, and it is sacred. That's also why I never wanted this other name you'll become very, very familiar with. I didn't want it in the title or the description of what we're doing here. It's too sacred. It's too personal to put out there. It's very, very personal. It's interesting what we call the threshold. It's very interesting because this is not being taught anywhere else on the planet, never has been. Every ascended master up to this point, 9,888, these ascended masters have gone through it on their own. There's no books about it, no courses about it. That's what I love about the Threshold. It's the first time we're taking this sacred information, this holy information, and talking about it. Now, please understand, it's not a method. It's not a 10 steps to realization. It's a culmination of many, many lifetimes. It's an understanding and a knowingness that you're going to go through. It's what can be a very brutal time. I'll tell you right now, it can be a very brutal time, but hopefully by discussing it and helping you to understand it, it's not going to be as brutal. But there are times when you're going to feel you're being torn apart. And I'll explain. We'll get into all of this as we go through the Threshold. A big part of the Threshold is the dragon. The dragon. We have a dragon sitting right here, just as a constant reminder throughout this. And you will encounter the dragon, no doubt. By the way, if you think you already have, you think you've already done all this, just stop for a moment. You haven't even started. But the real purpose of the dragon is clarity. Clarity. That's what actually dragon means. It brings everything to clarity. And the dragon also clears out everything within you that is held in guilt and shame and remorse. Because as every ascended master will tell you when you get up to the Ascended Masters Club, you cannot go into realization with these issues. You cannot. You simply cannot. We're going to be talking a lot more about the dragon as we go in. It's a highly, highly energized symbol. You're going to find that dragon is going to be waking up. You may say, oh, no, the dragon's already been here. No. You're feeling kind of a shadow of a dragon, but the dragon's going to be waking up. Once we actually turn the corner in this gathering, there's no turning back. There's no deciding that maybe it's not the right time for you. In the next few days, I'll inform you when we come to that point. There's no turning back. So why are you here? Because it's time, because you've chosen it, but because there's nothing else left. This is it. No more dallying, no more distractions, no more delays, procrastination. This is it.
Well, I really hope that you could feel into that. I mean, nobody does that better than Adamus, I guess.
Yeah, the dates are July 8th through the 10th,
10th.
by the way, 8th through the 10th. That's right in the middle of July. I love Threshold. It's well, I was listening to Adamus talking about it there, and he talks about it being so brutal and tough. And I was thinking, geez, that's not really good marketing to tell people that, but it
That's
is.
about making it real. And I
It's
think
very
it's
real.
very real. And I think you could hear that in the way he really guides us to finding these places that we've kind of just forgotten about.
Absolutely. So Threshold coming up, put it on your calendar. I love doing it. Can't wait to be doing it again in July.
Very powerful.
And we'd also like to announce a new cloud class that is coming up August 19th through the 21st. It is Kasama, the Soul's
right before your
Destiny.
birthday.
Absolutely. And we've done quite a few Kasama
Yeah.
workshops. They go way back, and then it was called Energy Works,
Right.
and then Adamus changed the name to Kasama. We've done a number of them here. We finally filmed it, and it is a very incredible gathering. This is going to be the first time as a cloud class, and what I love about it, Adamus talks a lot about the physics of the soul.
Right.
I mean, he really gets into it, defines it like I've never heard anywhere before.
Right, truly.
And in great detail, and it really takes the mystery out of the whole concept of the soul. There's quite a bit of discussion about suffering and why suffering is here on the planet, and now that it's time to get it out of our lives anyway. We're going to be live hosting this over the entire weekend in August. 8 sessions, and again, very, very informative, amazing information, particularly just about the soul's destiny, with a lot of great description.
Absolutely.
What is the soul?
Absolutely. And again, it's 3 days, and it was set up in a way that you really have time to integrate. So it's 3, 3, and 2, I believe.
Absolutely. Then for autumn 2022, we've got I think this is going to be our 8th annual Dream of the Merlin event.
Wow.
It's going to be online due to COVID. We weren't comfortable trying to travel, so it's going to be online. If you remember last year, that was an amazing event.
Incredible. And the most beautiful part about doing it online is that we can connect to people from so many different countries that would not be possible otherwise.
Absolutely.
We had over 60 countries last time.
I know that blows my mind. If you remember last year, a lot of great channels. We had also with the Mark Twain. That
Right.
was one of my favorite things I've
Right.
ever channeled. This year, our lineup includes Adamus. We got Merlin again, of course. Cthulhu, Nikolai Tesla. Nick Tesla, that's going to be something amazing to channel. Sam and some others yet to be announced. It's going to be a 2-day event rather than the typical 3, because we're just going to focus on the channels. So it'll be a lot of great channels over that 2-day period.
Not a lot of distraction.
And not a lot of distraction. You and I will do a little thing on Sunday morning where we're going to talk about the Inspire Consciousness Award and some other cool stuff that we're planning. So anyway, that's in September. We also realized 3 days kind of a long time for somebody to take. So even though you get 90 days to view it, we really condensed it into 2 days.
And just really focused on the channeling.
Absolutely, absolutely. So also coming up in the autumn, we're going to be back here in Kona, yay, for the new Staying in Grace gathering. That's October 5th through the 9th.
That's the first time.
Yeah, it is the first time. And then Time Traveling with Adamus again. It'll be our third time doing it. And then after that, in November, we're going to be doing the Staying in Grace again, and then finally Masters in Communication. So
There you go.
pretty full lineup for the fall.
Very much so.
Yeah. Okay, well, that brings us to Shambra News.
Okay.
So let's take a look at all the news that's fit to print. And as always, we talk about the Shambra magazine. It's a listing of everything, all the products that have come out, all the events that are taking place, and some really, really great articles. This month, again, features some excellent articles.
Yours was extremely popular already.
I've got more emails with that article that I wrote than any other article
Probably all the other articles put
combined.
together.
Yeah, well, it was kind of interesting because I was in a mood. And I was trying to write, a regular article, and it just wasn't working, and I did 2 or 3 drafts, and I just basically threw them out. And it's like, all right, I'm just going to write how I'm really feeling. And it was just I was just fed up with things, with conspiracies and with just the rudeness of the world and wars and everything else. I was just really fed up. So I wrote about it. I was going to tear it up. I was thinking I just vented.
Interesting that reel went over so well.
Yeah. Well, I think what happened was a lot of people were feeling the same way.
Absolutely.
We're benching, we're shining our light and all the rest of that, but there's still
easy.
There's that time you just get tired of stuff, really
easy.
fed up, and that was one, and I wrote about it. So
Check it out.
Get my rant in there, plus a lot of other great articles and
out.
information. We have a new product just introduced the other day, the Metaphysics of Pain.
This is with Kathumi.
And
Davies.
Dr. Doug Davies. And it's a little bit over an hour. And they talk a lot about how pain is, a lot of it is really emotionally sourced. And, pain is such a big thing with Shamba right now, the physical pain. And it's really...
even bringing in the light body and how that affects, that creates pain.
So we've had so many people asking, for more information about pain and how to get over it. So Kathumi and Dr. Doug talk about communicating with your body to move that stuck energy, and then some very, very practical ways to release the pain.
Absolutely.
You got to watch
very
the
real.
thing to see. It is downloadable as a video and audio and text, just $25. Let's take a little bit of look at the Metaphysics of Pain with Dr. Doug and Kathumi.
Welcome to the Metaphysics of Pain with Dr. Douglas Davies and Kathumi Lal Singh. From the medical point of view, what is pain, Dr. Doug?
Well, I think pain is probably best described as an alert system for the body. It's a good thing, especially if there's any tissue damage that's about to happen or is happening. I think the problem happens, and where the gray area starts, is when people have chronic pain that doesn't seem to be associated with tissue damage.
All pain of that type is essentially emotional, emotionally based. So the pain isn't necessarily in a specific part of the body, but it could be. But it's just the overall discomfort that they're feeling. And looking into the energetics, there's still old issues, whether it's with their parents or even a past life. But yet there are there are scientific things that are also happening within the body.
Emotionally sourced.
Emotionally sourced.
Yeah.
That's a very good word for it. So it's emotionally sourced. And for Shamba right now to say, what is the emotion that's causing the pain, that's causing me to be uncomfortable? What's happening right now? And what can I do then to move forward? But to recognize why you have pain, and not just that you have pain, but to recognize it is a big step. And then to talk to the body and say, what's this all about? Do a little chit chat with your knees or your back or your brain. What's this all about? It's something that so many Shamba are experiencing also as the light body is starting to come in. The cells in the body are very suspicious, and they're wondering what's going on, and they're thinking, here you go again with another program. But the light body's coming in and it's causing a discomfort. Calder tells me, no, it's pain, but I call it discomfort. And
it accentuates other body pains, though.
It does.
Yeah.
It exaggerates.
Like if you have kind of a weird back, it really hurts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The back is going to hurt more.
Yeah.
If you've had headaches, you're going to get even more headaches, and stomach issues, more stomach issues.
So what do you do to rectify that?
There's many things that you can do. First of all, recognize that a big part of the pain that you're going through right now is simply the pain of integration of light body, at the same time releasing so much of the old stuff that you don't even have to know what it is. That's a big part of it. I found for myself that doing something, in my case, walking, doing something was an absolute necessity.
I go swimming.
Yeah.
It moves the energy, and I feel
Moves the
100
energy.
times better.
Moves
Yeah.
the energy. I also found that singing, for me, was really good because singing is another activity. Singing caused me to do a lot of deep breathing. The other thing, and I mean, I'm going to kind of joke about it, but I mean it very seriously. It's very important right now to reduce the level of pain is to really poop well. That is truly a letting go. And as funny as it may be, it is one of the best things Schomburg can actually do for themselves right now. It's have a daily cleansing of the system. It's the best way to let go of things. Anyway, that is my message. That's what I wanted to deliver, is that as shitty as coming into realization is, you can use that to your benefit.
I hope you got a feel for that. Only Cthulhu could do that.
Oh, because then we started a whole new movement with Schomburg.
Literally.
Anyway, he was serious. I mean,
I know.
And I think it's great. I mean, it's very. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Anyway, Metaphysics of Pain is now available in the Crimson Circle store. It's a video download or audio or text. Also, it's very informative and somewhat humorous at times.
It does have Cthulhu's humor in it.
So let's take a look now at our Spotlight product for the month. Every month we feature something. We realized we had so many products and with so much great information, and we had to kind of bring them back once in a while to say, "Hey, here's a great one." This
just
month,
give them exposure because sometimes it's hard to imagine what should you look at. What would
absolutely.
You like?
This month's Spotlight product is time travels. We actually did this back in Egypt on one of those memorable trips. I think we went to Egypt 5 times
we did.
total. Yeah,
it was amazing.
Here in Time Travels are some of Tobias's last channels.
That's right.
He did a few shouts after that and a few other things.
That's right.
And then also recorded Journey of the Angels. But these were some of the last channels.
Right.
But it was interesting because it also features Adamus, before Adamus came in
That's
full time, Cthulhu, and Cthulhu's oversoul that he calls Akira. So really great channels. I have very fond memories of floating down the Nile River in our own boat with 100 Shamba from around the world, and these great channels. We do them every afternoon about 5 o'clock once we got back from touring. And there was one in there also from the King's Chamber.
Right, which is very special.
And I realize you and I have spent 20 hours in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid. 20 hours between the different trips we went on. That's a long time. I don't think it affected me in any way, but
well, it's one of those things where it's never what you imagine.
Well, I'll never forget the first time channeling in the King's Chamber. It's not what you expect if you haven't been there. It's big and empty, but there's something with sound. And I remember when I started channeling Tobias, it was like the sound was soaked up by the chamber.
Right.
But then it like came back from another dimension.
Reverberates.
It wasn't just the typical reverberation you get in a big open chamber. It was like it disappeared and then it came back after. It was just amazing. One of my favorite things I've ever done.
Okay.
Anyway, there's 7 sessions, and in the month of May, it's a 15% discount. We're going to take a real quick listen to some of the excerpts.
And it's audio only.
Audio only, yeah. You see, when you change your energy dynamic, when you change your spiritual physics, when you change your resonance in such an environment as this, as what we call Earth, when you change it while you are in the physical body, these changes, this reorientation of yourself, has vast implications that go beyond time and space. It's not reorienting yourself to be what you were before, you see. You're honoring where you have come from, but you're not trying to go back to what you once were. It doesn't work. You are becoming all that you will ever be. But you are, right now, as we talk, you are realigning energies. You are shifting them around and changing them within your light body and within your consciousness. From there, you are like a radiant light, but actually more like radiant consciousness. Because consciousness isn't just light, it is the dark. It is they melded together. And that goes out like a time traveler beyond time and space into your past. You're changing your past right now. That radiance goes out into your future. And it beckons back to this point of presence, this now moment. It beckons back these things that you are now consciously choosing. And dear humans, I understand how frustrating it might get at times because it's not happening instantly. But we're going to talk today about a very, very simple thing that you, as spiritual scientists, can do to facilitate this whole process of creation and manifestation, all back right here.
As you can feel, those were very special messages.
Yeah, so 15% off on time travels in the month of May. It's available in the Crimson Circle store. Check it out. Before we're going to break, also just a quick note, if you haven't had a chance to catch up on Master's Life 15, now is a great time to do it. It's titled Across the River, and it really talks about how to stay on the planet as a master and a human. I think we all need more information about that.
It's really incredible because it's just a master's life. It's very, very sweet. Once I experience it, and I've talked to other people, you get in these situations where they give you a way to look at things and to literally walk through things in a way that makes sense. And whenever I remember to go back to that, it pulls me out of any kind of oddball, situation.
Right. So here the river represents the flow and the wisdom of the soul, and it talks about being both human and master on the planet. You'll have 90 days to watch the videos or listen to the audio. So if you get a chance, do check it out. And we also include the music tracks downloadable, so you can listen to them anytime. We found that over a period of time, people really loved the music track. It kind of brings back the energy of watching it, but you can listen to it anywhere.
Adamus always says he chooses these things based on how he sees us on our journey. And it was so evident to me, listening to Shambra and myself, that this really supports the journey.
So as we're going to break, we do want to say thank you to everyone out there that makes this possible, our amazing Crimson Circle staff, all of the Crimson Circle angels, the translators, the website hosts, the whole community we work with. You can actually check it out. There's a listing at the back of the Shambra magazine, and it's got all the names. It's like 4 pages.
It's astounding.
So we want to thank everybody, the website hosts, and anybody I might be forgetting about. Thank you for making this possible.
And our studio.
And our
here.
studio staff that's here today, helping with the shooting, and of course, Belle. So we're going to be, and of course, the staff back in Colorado right now that's also helping with the production.
You bet.
So we're going to come back in about 22 minutes or so to see what Adamus has to say. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in just a bit.